Welcome back to the DFS Army Fast 40. This is the Martinsville Blu Emu Max Pain Relief 400 breakdown. My name's Kevin Allen, aka The Geek. I've got Taco here. We're breaking the whole race down from a DraftKings perspective. Let's do this. All right, welcome back to the DFS Army Fast 40. We're taking a look at the Martinsville 400. And I've got Taco here with me. And Taco, we've had some carnage over the weekend. And tell me a little bit about what went on yesterday in Xfinity. I saw it looked like a crash derby.
I'm a broken man after having to witness that Xfinity race. I literally thought it could not get worse. After the truck race, I think they ran a whole, 35% of the race under caution. It was absolute madness. Just nothing but yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag. And I thought, all right, Xfinity, there's no way it could get worse than trucks, right? And that did not age well because, my God, they almost set a record for cautions. And then they had a big one. I shit you not, a big one at Martinsville. When the fuck do you see that, right? The final overtime restart. It was fucked up beyond repair. That race gave me PTSD.
Are we expecting more of that craziness today with the Cup Series drivers, or maybe a little bit less carnage, maybe a little more talent going on in the group here?
Yeah. Darren is a good point. It felt like iRacing, just everyone constantly wrecking each other out. So we see that in the lower series here, pretty consistently actually, having like 25 to 30% of the race run under caution, or in the case of the Xfinity race, 38%. My God, but the numbers are more of like 10 to 20% in the Cup Series. We tend to get way more green flag, way more long runs. And I know I was winning everything. I don't know why I looked, but you're right, Darren. It was all up on that till that final. Yeah, it was one weird race. But
all right, so let's get the specifics of this track down, Taco. It's 400 laps, Martinsville, half a mile. Like it's a short flat track. This is unlike most other tracks. It's got uniqueness. So how much does driver history come into play? I mean, they're hitting the brakes a lot. Some guys are good at that. Some guys aren't. How much does track history come into play in your analysis here?
Yeah, so probably a lot more than most tracks. You're going slower here than any other track, and equipment kind of matters less. Braking stuff is very, very important. We've seen a lot of brakes kept fire.
Equipment,
yeah, driver skill and driver skill when it comes to saving your equipment for the long run. In the Cup Series, that will definitely matter. It'll come into play. Like last week at Richmond, we saw, this whole season has been run by the young guys, and they all got ran out of town last week at Richmond when it was just a green flag race, pretty much no cautions, and whoever saved their equipment the best ended up doing the best. And we saw all the lost old drivers that nobody wanted to roster anymore come back in a big way. And yeah, we saw, I think, outside of Byron Hendricks taking a step back, like Elliott and Larson are kind of nowhere to be seen. These guys have some speed this week for sure, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Let's talk about speed this week a little bit. Let's stay with that. So I'm here on the DFS Army Research Station, and we have a couple different places where you could look at practice lap times and all of that. But this screen right here on the main page is really telling for me. So I'm taking a look at the practice screen here, and especially here in the lap averages, and you could see, I mean, Willie Byron 1 across the board, looks really fast. You've got Kyle Larson essentially 2s across the board, so also looking really fast here. Kurt Busch stands out. Eric Almirola starting second. Man, he looks pretty good, but it's hard to play him. And then of course, out of nowhere, Bubba Wallace with a lot of green. So and Allmerdinger, who's starting pretty far back. Bubba Wallace starting 21st. A lot of green here. How much do you place for Martinsville in the practice times and just how good the cars looked? Or it's not even the car, but the driver skill at clearly maybe that's what's causing these fast laps. I mean, what do you make of this?
It's kind of the usual suspects. You may think Bubba's weird here. If you know anything about his Truck Series career, he's actually always been really good at Martinsville. He just never really had the equipment in the Cup Series. Although he was this equipment last year, and he did not succeed here. So
yeah, it hasn't
it'll be
been good
interesting
here.
to see how Bubba does and how the practice times translate over. But yeah, the Hendrick guys seem to have found something out for sure. Byron, Larson, they're all fast. We saw Byron do really well last week, and this is honestly one of his better tracks. I think definitely got him under projection right now. Let's like update him. It's been a long week, but Byron probably on the up and up here. Elliott, gets that immediate. He had no practice speed compared to his teammates, and he goes out and gets the pole. We're not seeing the practice times correlate to the qualifying times very well. At least the long run speeds. It's kind of to be expected, but the long run speed could definitely come into play. Certainly more than in the race we've seen this week. So don't let those sway you too much.
Yeah, we'll see if we have a lot of long runs. But let's go back to our classic averages by starting position screen here, which usually tells the tale of the shitters, and if we should target them in our lineups. And
you should target them on Fanduel and not on DraftKings. That's kind of how it works here. Now, keep in mind, we're looking at historical data here. Not only are we in a brand new car, it's this race used to have 500 laps. Always a 500 lapper like Bristol. We're now down to 400 laps. They have shortened this thing. So, we have a fifth of the Dominator points eliminated right there. It's still going to be Dominator heavy. I mean, 400 laps, you're still looking to get these lap leaders. And as you can see from the historical data, like you've got, there have been so many guys that have led 200, 300, 400 laps here. It's kind of the tail of the tape here.
Look at all those.
We're probably not going to.
The lap leader is going to be getting. I mean, look at the correlation. I find this really interesting. Like lead laps, fast laps, lead laps, fast. So when you're on the lead, you're probably also getting fast laps, which kind of doubles up your overall domination, so to speak. So this is clearly a track. I mean, my goodness, Martin Truex Jr. led 464 of
2019 was a weird package, and it just led to 0 passes. So those guys just got to coast away.
We haven't seen that as much this year, but you don't know. You don't know.
All of these guys, if you look at who the drivers are, there are absolutely no surprises here. These are your short track aces. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, of course, Boyer, and then just like the best of the best.
And again,
not really any surprises. So I don't see someone like your guys like Chastain, Briscoe, these young guns. I mean, most of them are place differential plays anyway right here, but probably not another week for one of those guys like the Briscoe types to be on too crazy.
This was a good one. I gotta appreciate MMA Pixels. Why do they shorten the race? Gas prices. Costs like I mean $10,000 in gas just to run one of these at this point with the cost of gas.
It's not
gasoline's catching up to tires.
They get like a mile a gallon or something. Okay,
yeah, I mean,
not that much, but
all right. So and again, looking at our prime chart here, what this tells me, at least historically, is you could play some of the guys from the back, but not the turds. The turds are going to be falling probably multiple laps behind. They're going to be passed again and again. Let me get where does it show how many people finish on the lead lap?
Go over to tracks. It's over on the right.
All right, so we got Martinsville up top, and average laps finished 94%. Race under caution 15%. That's on the high side. That's it's not quite Daytona, but it's on the high side.
It's not as crazy as Bristol, but we're up there.
It doesn't seem as bad as what happened yesterday in Xfinity.
The carnage is all mini carnage, like 1-2 car right. We're not gonna see another big one, and I assure you.
How many? Where does it show you the lead lap percentage? Here we go. Okay, here we go at the end. All right,
yeah, it's about half the field. It's not gonna be like Richmond, right? Everyone's gonna get lapped eventually. I mean, could be
47%. So Dover, the highest is 31%. One of the highest is 31%, or one of the lowest. I'm sorry, but this is down. I'm just looking at the high, it's 70. So like,
I mean, it's to be expected. A smaller track means people are going to get lapped more.
Getting like a relative feel for it. It does, only half the cars will be on the lead lap at the end of this race, and most of the turds will be lapped, I think, multiple times. So we do have to pay attention to that. So if we're going to play any of these guys from the back, it's got to pretty much only be Ty Dillon.
Yeah, there's guys that have proven they can stand the lead lap.
All right, let's get right into it. Let's get into the breakdown here, and we'll start at the top. You've got Martin Truex Jr. starting 20th. He's got a great track history. He's very, very expensive here. What more can we say about him? Starting 20th, very, very expensive. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to fit two expensive guys in your lineup. Certainly going to potentially choose one or avoid these types completely. You like Truex, though.
Yeah, I mean, he is a short track demon over the last few seasons. Really just like consistently. He's been on top of it. He's won 3 of the last 5 Martinsville races. He's crushed it. Very similar tracks. Richmond, Phoenix, winners there recently. Gets 20 points or 20 spots of place differential to work with on top of everything. And it's a night race. It's Truex, man. He's gonna be one of the top options to dominate stage 3s.
Historically,
great at all the race.
Yeah.
Oh, he is great at races where the track changes as we go into colder temps.
I do not think this is Sleepy Joe. I don't think this is at most 1 or 2 DOMs at all. I think you want to at least 1.
Oh no, quite the opposite.
Yeah, you want dominators here. This is these short tracks. You need
big time at least.
If you don't have the dominator or the 2 dominators, if there are 2, if you don't have both of them, you're probably not going to take a tournament down. You
are definitely fucked. You won't make no money. If you have someone lead 200 plus laps and you don't have them, it's done.
By the way, I have
$0 for you.
I don't think you could pay up for Truex. I actually think it's. Listen, I got a big problem paying this much salary.
The place differential doesn't even really matter.
It's not
this point. It's just the fact that big dominator boy.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't think you can pay this price for a place differential guy. I would not be as excited. He needs to lead and lead for a long time at this price. And you're asking a lot starting 20th in a short track like this. It's not that easy to move up to first place. So I'd be cautious about Martin Truex Jr. Same with Hamlin. Same deal. He's starting in the back. He's going to have to get to the front and lead for a while to pay off. Even with the place diff, it's not going to be enough. So keep that in mind as you're putting your stuff up. As you're putting,
it's like I'm listed as cash. I mean,
cash fine.
It doesn't really.
Yeah, that is not getting you there in a tournament. Let's talk about Chase Elliott. He's starting on the pole. The pole. All right. Now, a lot of times I don't like the pole sitter, but Chase Elliott's he's good at this kind of track. No.
Yeah, and the pole, it's just the easiest spot to get some free points. Like any of these 400, 500 lap tracks, the pole sitter is always super enticing, especially at a track like Martinsville where the inside is so important. Like starting second here sucks. I'd almost rather start third than second because it's all a battle of like getting to the inside. You'll see with the choose roll, everyone's going to choose the inside. It's just kind of how the track works.
Chase starts on the inside. He's got open space in front of him. This is a trafficy, tiny little track. There's people, there's cars everywhere. And the chances are he's going to come out and lead early. Now, how long that lead lasts for and, who knows, but it could be 120 laps in and it's still Chase up front, just doing his thing.
Yep.
That could happen here. I like Chase a lot. I think he's one of the dominators that you need to target if you don't mind paying up a little bit, in salary for a guy like that. I'm fascinated that you kind of maybe like Truex a little bit more. Maybe you kind of think Truex is a little safer in terms of, and which he is for like a cash play or something like that, which he definitely is.
Truex also just a demon at this track in particular. And really, JGR has always done super well here.
We'll have to see. Yeah, it makes sense. He will need to get to the front and lead to pay off on this price. The 20. The place diff is not going to be enough. All right, Ryan Blaney starting in no man's land, 12th. How has he done in short flat tracks?
It's been pretty solid. I think his worst finish in his last 12 races is 11th. No wins in that span though, but he has been, since the switch to the next gen car, he has been the best car. He's been the best driver. He was like the S plus tier. This track, he's done pretty well. I think in 2020 he finished second both of the races here. Honestly, it's a pretty good spot for Blaney. Penske historically has also done pretty well here. So I like Blaney. I think a lot of people like Blaney. Starting back in 12th, it's not like he has direct path to lead laps. But yeah, he's certainly got to be one of the top dominator options you'd figure this week.
I think some of these ownership percentages are really interesting. I haven't run lineups yet for this. I've just reserved, but Larson being less owned than Blaney, these two.
Bro, last week, no one played Larson. It was crazy.
What, do they know something? My goodness, Larson still was the man. He hasn't looked that great this season as of yet, but I mean, this guy dominated the entire, just every single race last year, or he was really dominant last season. So, yeah, I'm playing some Larson here. He's the fastest in practice, second fastest in practice. He's got a good car. Hendrick, you said, is looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Lower owned than some of these other guys. I think that just is enough reason for me to say, hey, sure, why not?
We're starting to see the teams make some adjustments after. You usually see this after the come back from the West Coast swing and stuff. You kind of see the same guys be good week after week, and then the teams start making some adjustments. It looks like Hendrick found something this week. You can tell from the practice speeds.
Absolutely. Yeah, just Hendrick across the board. Now, here's another play stiff play here with Denny Hamlin. Really good in these types of tracks. Going to be chalky, whatever. Look at this high ownership. And I do expect him to move up. But once again, man, you pay up in this track, he better lead some laps.
Yep. And despite winning last week at Richmond, he really didn't lead too many laps. He kind of just ended up there in the end.
Was he in the nuts? Should have been.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I don't know. He started up towards the front too, I think. I don't have to check. But this is also he's always crushed here at this track. Always been he gets, I think, the most fast laps of anyone. And he has he's just really good overall at this track. He's finished top 3, I think, in over half his races at these short and flat tracks over the last few years. He's really just consistently up there.
You got to find someone else. So you again, just the way the salaries work, you've got to have, there's 400 laps. They're short. You've got that many laps. I want to emphasize this. Most of these races, the 400-mile tracks, they only have 150 laps or 180. This has how many laps is on this one? 400 laps.
400.
Right? This is a 200-mile 400 lap. Where an average race, we're not getting anywhere even half of that amount of laps. So all of those dominator points, they're really going to determine what goes on. You could do a little play stiff, but it's really all about getting the dominators in your lineup. 1, 2, however many end up dominating. That is the key to Martinsville. So coming down, Kyle Busch also, Kyle Busch is good everywhere. No.
Yeah.
Is there any track type that Busch isn't good at? No. It's good at
Apparently the trend is just you don't play him when there's no practice and you play him when there's practice. It's so weird to see. You saw the truck race, no practice for him. Dude wasn't even very good. He didn't lead laps. But
he always faded. By the way, always fade Kyle Busch in trucks.
It's crazy.
Yeah, always fade him. It's just always fade him. So Joey Logano, any reason to play? Well, actually, we'll stick with Kyle Busch. So he's starting 11th, decent win odds. Not the best, but he's right up there in win odds for the track. He does have good track history and everything. I think you throw him in the mix, and nothing distinctively stands out. He was 3rd fastest in practice, from what I recall. He had
the fastest lap in practice. And looked up there in speed with Byron and Larson. Probably the only JGR guys that actually look good in practice. Practice is so weird because there are some seriously top guys that just did not really have the practice speeds, and they turn around and qualify pretty well. I don't know. Kyle Busch, he's been struggling. This track type is weird because historically this is like where he does his work. Like he had a stretch of like 8 straight races here at Martinsville where he finished top 5 and was a contender to win most of them. Then like the last like 5 races here, I think he finished second in the playoff race here last year. But other than that, he has not looked his usual self. Again, there are no practices there. It's so weird that this trend is so apparent, but I swear to God, it's just like when there's practice, Kyle Busch feels comfortable. He runs well.
He did.
When there's not, he is lost.
Yeah, he did get to practice for this one. So, yeah, I think I'm throwing him in my mix. You know, he's not somebody I'm looking to forcefully target a ton of, but you know, he's in that mix. It's really interesting. It's hard to distinguish here, but Joey Logano, you got him as a great play on paper. No one likes to play Logano. I agree. Should be able to get some solids leverage on him. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that, right? Penske car, nothing distinctive about him specifically for today. Practice times wise or anything like that. It's really just an ownership play.
Yeah, I think him finishing 17th at Richmond broke a super long streak of like him finishing top 10 at these track types. Usually it's top 5, but not really much of a winner in the short and flat tracks. He has won here as recently as 2018, and he's pretty much always in the top 10 run around there. It's just he doesn't get the fast laps for DraftKings a lot of the time. And that kind of screws him over, but he's quite a good Fanduel play. That's kind of the angle I like to take on him. Just because he's allergic to fast laps, but he loves leading. He loves being there. He loves finishing well. Starting back at 14th, I don't think that even like helps you this week. You know, unless you've got a lot of place differential to work with, it's not really that important. If anything, it just keeps you from the lead.
Yeah, I mean, the old guard.
Yeah, this could definitely be another old guard race, I'd feel. Because being able to conserve your stuff for late runs, pretty solid. A pretty good skill to have in the bank.
Let's talk about Willie Byron, the fastest car in practice. He's starting 5th. Ownership doesn't look very high on Willie Byron.
Nah, it's got to be higher, bro. I blamed the Xfinity race last night, man.
I think you've been tripping because I think Willie Byron will be a popular
People do
play.
hate to play Byron.
No,
I think they're starting to.
He's in the Hendrick car.
For practice, yeah.
I like Byron a lot. Plus, I like this price point. So if you can get your Dominator in at 9,500, 9K, I've enjoyed the young guard situation. Although if Brady were here, I'm sure he would tell us that braking and car management tends to favor the old guard. But
Byron's weird though.
I like the salaries of the young guard here. I like you get them for a little cheaper, and I think these guys are all just as good this season as those big names that we all like to sweat and pay up for. And this is, we'll get to a bunch of these guys, but Willie Byron, fast car in practice. Like, do you think he's going to dominate here? I mean, you think he gets there? Does he get to the domination spot?
He has never led a lap here, I don't think, but again, it all depends on how much you value track history here. I'm really trying not to value track history too much this year with the change of car and everything. This is the one track where kind of way more inclined to than other tracks to look back. Because again, it's all like equipment isn't as huge here as like knowing how to put yourself in the right position at the right time, pit strategy, equipment management, all that stuff just kind of comes into play at a track like this. But Byron, he's like really smart for a young kid, and he is good. He is good at those kind of things. He races like he's 10 years older than he is sometimes.
I'll make that a little bit wider so I can see a little bit more here. So, yeah, Byron, I think it stands out. I mean, the practice times really. If you like to play based on the practice time, he's a guy, and I'll have him in some lineups. I don't think starting 5th he's going to be super popular either. So that's something I think that we can lay our hat on a little bit. Alex Bowman starting 15th, kind of a weird starting spot for him. Look at the win odds, really significantly lower than Byron, who you can get for about the same price. Alex Bowman, I don't remember his practice times. Anything?
He came in right behind like Larson and Byron and Kyle Busch, and he was right in step with them.
Another Hendrick car.
Hendrick cars the defending race winner here, actually.
I think you won him
the playoff race. Yeah, he's an interesting one because we've been seeing him in the 8Ks, so seeing him in the 9Ks now, I think people will definitely hop off him.
Christopher Bell, always a guy I like to target, especially in the flat track, like what he specializes in.
And we're finally starting to see it in Cup, you know. We've known these things about him since Xfinity, and it's finally starting to come to fruition. So he still hasn't had the major domination, but he's starting to dominate these tracks, and he's going to be scary once he really gets it together. This might be a breakout race for him potentially. Who knows? Still waiting on it. Now, I think it's more likely to happen in like a New Hampshire. I definitely have him circled for when we go there, but definitely can't count him out. Again, just cheap JGR car. It's kind of same old for Bell.
Papa Cap, I just need to know, man, who's going to crash here? Give me the skinny. Who's going to last and who's going to crash? If we could tell in advance, we'd make so much more money in these races. Chastain, perhaps. So Chastain is our first. I think you're underestimating his ownership percentage. Like for me, I'd rather play Chastain for 2K under someone like.
There is one thing that holds him back. He kind of sucks at this track. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he sucked at a lot of things last year, and then all of a sudden he was good this year at everything.
Yep.
I'm just throwing it
a
out.
non-factor last week at Richmond is, I guess, one thing that kind of sticks out, but still starting back in 27th, we have not gotten him with this place differential so far this season. So it'll be very interesting to see how ownership shakes out with him.
And a reasonable price. And
it's hard not to pull the trigger on him, but you do get his teammate for 2,000 cheaper, starting even further back.
Yeah,
into that. I
love him too.
I've been waiting for him to break out like Chastain. I think they're a lot closer than one may think. Yeah, Chastain definitely. I don't know if it's going to be like Bowman of previous seasons where he just blows his load early and then kind of fails to recaptivate that as the season goes. We'll have to see, but yeah, Chastain, it's hard not to like him starting all the way back there because he's a mixture of place differential play plus like he actually has dominator upside.
Now, the guy I like a little more than Chastain is Tyler Reddick. I think Reddick is good at this kind of a track generally. Starting 22nd.
I'll like him at the exact opposite track. So one where you want the outside lane, where it's high bank. This is like dead opposite of what you figure Reddick would be good at, And granted, he's kind of broken his tendencies there. A great finish at Phoenix, and Phoenix is, I think, it's by far the highest corollary track.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Here. So yeah, him and Chastain did really well here, and again, it's very surprising at the time. They've been working on these kind of things. I think, Reddick, just someone I always loved to roster. This dude, it's nice to see him in the 8K again because I think he's going to be 9K plus for a good while after this season. He looked pretty fast.
This whole young guard is moving up there.
Slowly but surely.
It's just a young guard. So here we go. Kevin Harvick has owned this race. I mean, you want to talk about flat short track guy.
Where he has been non-existent the last season and a half, pretty much since COVID, but the only times we've seen signs of life from him is at these short tracks. For a while, it was this package in particular that he was good at. He also ran really well at Bristol, was dominant there. We saw last week at Richmond, the leader of the old guard here, the Boomer Brigade, led by old Harvick. Sharp at 6, we haven't really seen him dominate like that, though. I don't even know if he needs to 8,400, though. The price is solid enough.
He hasn't crushed it at this track. He has a long history. I'm not playing him starting 6th.
Yeah. Because he's also just awkwardly priced. You can't, at this track, you really want to just go scrubs and duds. It's kind of the way to go. We got
to find the right scrubs. So hopefully we'll find those guys. And I almost want to just jump past a couple.
You see how many 10K plus guys there are. DraftKings knows how to price this stuff at this point. It's almost being priced like they're 500 laps still.
All right, let's see what else we've got here. Chase Briscoe. You like Briscoe a lot. Starting 19th. He is
he won the Phoenix race. That's again being the highest correlator. I probably like him the most out of any of the young guard guys. That's for sure.
I love his starting spot, and it sounds like he's specifically not too bad at this track type. So I just like the starting spot. 19th overall, 82 reasonable salary level. So he is very very much in play. Now, Kurt Busch, you don't like. Yeah, not a Busch.
No, I think Brady liked him though.
Brady did like Kurt Busch,
which makes me feel like a little more, but I only have circled on Fanduel. I think I played him a little on Fanduel, but he's just not really someone that's been on my radar much.
He's definitely not going to dominate, and so we need a lot of,
he had good long run speed though in practice. Like him and his teammate Bubba both look pretty damn strong.
There's an interesting fade coming up, but Brad Keselowski 4-star play. Starting 9th, starting towards the front, but he has owned this track, and I don't know if it's because he, is really good with his pit strategy or what the hell's going on. He was good with it. Obviously, he's with a new team now, so the pit strategy probably not the same as what he had in the past. But 4-star play. You like Keselowski here? He's a good driver for this track.
And this might be one of the only tracks that I like Keselowski at, but I mean, I feel like the ultimate horse for the course with Keselowski in the 7Ks. I mean, it's got to be kind of interesting. I'm just thinking like it's such a slow track. I was kind of leaning on the angle of just like a track history here. And again, I don't want to do that very often this year, but this is like the primo track, I think, to focus on these kind of things.
Nope. Okay.
And we'll see if that doesn't really age well. Then that's noted going into the future. We'll just kind of just not pay it any mind. But I think Kez can bang here. Like I really think he can. He's honestly looked like he's looked pretty bad overall this season. But we definitely saw signs of life from him last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say he wasn't bad last week.
And
he got a little better. He got a little, he wasn't bad last week.
It's just the price at this point. If he had that crazy pricing like he had early in the season, I wouldn't really bother with him. But the dude is actually just amazing here.
And he's priced kind of in the scrubby zone. So there are a couple guys though that Brady did mention that I see you like a lot less. So we'll emphasize that when we get to it. Austin Dillon, you've got him as a fade, even though he's starting 23rd.
Yeah, love him last week. He cashed out for us. Here, I don't know. I don't like his limited upside. I don't like the fact that he has no dominator potential whatsoever.
But I mean, starting 23rd for cheap. We need these guys.
He was in the 6Ks last week, $7,700. So that is a big price jump for Dillon. He's probably deserving of it because he's low key been kind of like borderline top 10. But I do not want to play just like place differential guys here. Like if I'm gonna play anyone in this range, it's gotta be someone like Briscoe, gotta be someone like Keselowski that has dominator upside. Like I want a third dominator. Not getting that from Dillon here. I would rather just punt than play Dillon.
All right, and we'll just play Daniel Suarez. But all right. Yeah, the punt is hanging out for everybody to see.
We're getting there.
Eric Almirola, very fast, but man, it's tough to use a guy starting second who is Eric Almirola, but he was definitely good in practice and he was definitely good in qualifying. So, where does he need to finish in order to pay off for 7,500, assuming he doesn't dominate? Like he's got to finish top 5, 4, 5.
It's a great question.
Hang on,
he's actually finished top 10 a lot more than you may suspect at this track type.
Let's say he finishes top 5, 5th, 36 points.
36. I'd still rather just punt.
Yeah, he finished.
It's annoying because there's like that
38.
That off chance that maybe he could dominate early. It's just we really don't see that from the second place guy here. They tend to get shuffled back.
If he does not finish top 3, you're probably not enough. It's probably not enough. He's got to finish.
Granted, if he finishes 3rd, he's probably going to rack up at least some fast laps on the way. But
even still, I don't know about all that. So it's probably pretty fadeable. He's pretty fadeable here. Austin Cindric starting 13th. Penske.
I think Brady liked him a little.
Yeah, Brady liked
no reason.
Cindric as a little bit of a. See, what I like about Cindric is the price.
He had him as a long shot. Yeah, I mean, it's a very cheap Penske car. Definitely give him that. And this car, this team in particular, Keselowski's old team. I mean, certainly.
It's not.
I don't know how much of that will translate, but yeah,
it's not out of the
realm.
He
just hasn't shown anything this season at the short tracks at Richmond, Phoenix. He's done nothing.
No history to speak of for Cindric here. We really have nothing to go off of.
But he 20th and the 24th place finish at Richmond, Phoenix. I mean,
yeah, when he's had the chance, he hasn't looked great.
He's not that bad. He's not gonna keep running in the 20s. Like, I'm sure he'll break top 15 or something. It's just
that's probably not enough.
It's a wait and see with Cindric for me.
Not, no great track history here. Actually, it looked pretty good in the one race last year, but
no, his track history is bad because like a lot of that isn't JGR equipment. Like, it's pretty bad. That's the issue I have with old Jones. Also,
Jones has been a guy I like rostering all season. He's been that guy, but
I'll take his teammate all day.
No, we'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We'll get to that.
Do you even need to talk about Buescher?
No. Fade Buescher. There's no reason to play any of him. Daniel Suarez.
This one's interesting.
All right. This is the zone we're going to live in. So, I mean, it took 36 minutes in, and here is where we're going to live. We're going to set up shop. We're going to like put our tent poles down. Light a little campfire.
Probably include Bubba and Ricky in this is cringes to say.
And I can't live with Ricky.
The ownership.
I can't live with Ricky as like a primary guy in a crashy, spinny kind of a track. No.
Bro, yeah, he's actually been finishing these races as of late, and it's been so weird because he used to wreck out of this race every single year without fail. And he's gone like 6 or 7 races without wrecking here. It's wild.
You got to play some, but he's probably gonna the minute you go back to it. It's like when you increase your bet size. The second you increase your bet size, if you're a gambler, you lose. That's
fair. I feel like I've been pretty decent at guessing when Ricky turns into Reki, at least as of late. Maybe I've just been lucky though. But yeah, Suarez Trackhouse equipment. So Chastain's equipment starting back in 30th, literally for $2,000 cheaper than him.
Suarez, good driver too. We have not gotten Suarez starting from the back chalk. Like, this is the kind of chalk I want to eat.
Mm-hmm. He's not very good at this track. But I do I like Suarez is someone I can see. Like, I've seen him do well at tracks that he's done really awful at as of late. He's still developing. I think there's definitely upside there, like a lot of upside.
I would not be
shocked to see him run top 10.
If we're trying to get dominators in our lineup, you need $6,000 price tag guys. That's how you do it. And I don't even mean you need to get that. We're putting 2 $10,000 pluses in there. I'm talking, you want to live in the 8 to $10,000 range. And the way you get there is by using 2 of these types in every lineup. So it's going to be how your lineup has to be made. And that will lead to some extreme chalkiness for both of these guys. But between Suarez and Allmendinger, do you have a preference?
Well, Dinger's just going to come in as massive chalk, but it's hard not to like Dinger here. I mean, almost like free space in a way, because when he raced here full time in the Cup Series, it was pretty much just road courses and Martinsville. That's where you'd play Dinger, and everywhere else he was not as good at. But Martinsville, he's been a monster here.
It's a Steelers.
He had finishes he had no business. Yeah, I was about to say it's pretty much like cornering at a road course. It's got to be why Dinger is so good here.
I think you're on the
other road course guys doing well here.
They're on the brakes, right?
And who crushed the road course this season? Dude, Suarez did before he's taken out. He was the car to beat. He was dominating.
Yeah, I love both of these guys. I hope they don't. The problem is whenever there's chalk, there's probably chalk that's going to crash. But these two are if they don't crash, they're going to probably be in the winning line. Like, there's a really good chance that they'll be there. And it's not just, it's beyond, it's the price. It's the price of it's the salary, and just where they're starting. There's not that many good plays here for cheap, and so they don't need to do as much as these other guys who are more expensive in order to get there. Like we said with who was it starting second with Almirola, he's 7,500. He's got to finish pretty much second or third to get 40 fantasy points, and
he's got to find the lead.
Yeah, he's got to
lead do whatever.
Right. Let's take Almirola.
I don't know if that happens.
Let me give you the comparable. Who has a pass through? What? Oh, so let me give you the comparable for Almerdinger, right? He finishes 10th. 60. All right. He's not going to finish 10th. All right. What about if he finishes 15? 50. All right. What if he finish? So it doesn't take much. He only has to hit 20th place. Okay. For 1,000 less. It's important to use this tool. 20th place for Almerdinger is as good as Almirola finishing in third. And Taco, could you not see the Dinger in 7th place at the end of the race, like pretty comfortably? Yeah. Wait, what's this 2 laps down at the start stop? I don't know what's going on here.
No, with a passer, it actually is pretty rough, but there are enough cautions. He'll be back. Like he'll be back on the lead lap eventually.
Is that for Dinger?
I do believe so.
So it's going to be 2 laps down for a pass through?
Let me check. Well, yeah, this is such a short track that a pass through, not very good because you'll get they complete their laps here pretty quick, so he'd go down early.
Well, that is a danger. I didn't know about that. So, wow. That really throws things for a loop. You're talking about the potential. If he's down 1 lap, I'm cool with it. 2 laps down?
Trying to see. I was not made aware of this in news.
Ooh,
I must have missed something.
Guys are saying probably 2 laps down. This is actually very relevant because if he's 2 laps down, man, it is hard to make your way back. You need 2 pass-throughs. You need 2 you need to be waved around 2 times. Could take a while. That's not ideal, Taco. Wow.
Trying to find confirmation of the news. I haven't seen like Pockers post anything about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is big news. So let's focus in on that. We'll pay attention to it because if he's going to be down 1 lap, I don't even give a shit. I'm not even adjusting.
No, it's from yesterday.
If we're thinking he's down 2 laps, Taco, you need those early cautions are not that common. And then what starts to happen is he's down 2 laps and all of a sudden guys start to fall 1 lap behind and he can never make it up. So there is a possibility with 2, not with 1, but with if you're 2 laps back that you cannot get back.
Yeah, he could get cock blocked, especially if it goes green. Yeah, there's definitely something to be concerned about. So shit. I would what that is, I'd much rather use Suarez, honestly.
Fuck, man. Why do they gotta make it tough? That does make this difficult. All right, so let's pay attention to this because like I said, if we really feel like he's gonna fall 2 laps behind on that 1 pass through, I think you're asking for trouble. You can't fade him because what if it's only 1 lap and he gets back on the lead? And again, we just saw 20th place is already 50 points. This makes it difficult. But it does make Suarez probably the better play of the 2.
Yeah. I could see him coming back, but I guess we'll see how it shakes out.
Of course we could see it, but before I was going into it thinking he's got 1 chance of not being in the nuts, and that is if he crashes. Now, the second chance is if he falls 2 laps behind, not 1 for that pass through. You'll get the lucky dog if you're just 1. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't worry about 1 lap back. He'll get the lucky dog.
If there's like a quick wreck, like we sometimes see here, or just something like someone spins or something, he could like instantly get it all back. It'd be just fine, like nothing happened. But I mean, you got to think about the situation where he goes down 2 and it's just kind of stuck there. We've seen some people do that before and having to do pass-through penalties. So it was definitely a gamble. Starting last, like he'll move up, he'll pass like scrubs and stuff, and he could probably point out fine for like cash or whatever. But I don't know. I gotta imagine that ownership's like way lower though.
You're saying he's gonna
rework the ownership, man.
He'll lap some scrubs who are falling laps behind, of course. But still, without the lucky, he needs to be on the lead lap, or we're not. You don't win with guys who aren't on the lead lap, and you definitely don't win with guys who are 2 laps behind. You just don't win like that. That's not how you win these tournaments. So, all right, let's pay attention to that. And there is one more driver that we can load up on coming up, but gotta love
Suarez.
Suarez.
A little interesting, but yeah,
probably love Suarez even more now. Love the price, love the starting position. Here we get into a little bit of a chalky danger zone, I would say. Bubba and Stenhouse.
Bubba looked bad fast in practice. He had like the second best car, third best car. Again, he's done well in trucks here. He's had like some top 15 finishes here in Cup. Hasn't really broken out here at Martinsville yet. Kind of waiting on it, but
let me ask you something. Who clicks on these things that a bot puts it out there for every live stream in existence?
I mean, you literally just clicked on it.
No, I mean, I just showed it on the screen. I didn't click it. I'm not clicking it. Like, are people clicking that when they see it? Like, if you need porn, don't click on that, man.
They're probably only going after like old rich people with dementia. That's kind of how scammers work. But
yeah, who are in YouTube comments. Like, if you want porn, don't click on that. Like, that is definitely
it's just a bot doing its thing. Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, like the chances of you not getting a virus from clicking that is like a 0. Like, you're better off like having unprotected sex with a hooker. Your virus chances.
It sounds like an L to me.
It's definitely an L. All right.
Does Stenhouse sound like an L to you?
Like, you know, this your chances of getting an STD are the same clicking that and like hooking up with a streetwalker. It's about the same. You're about a 70%.
What about a skinwalker? Anyway, I think we're digressing a little much.
All right. All right. Stenhouse.
Back to the punts.
Don't wreck the car, Ricky, and he'll be great. Wallace, fast in practice, but man, this guy, if there is ever a driver who likes to poison your DraftKings lineups, it's Bubba Wallace. I'm sorry, but that dude is just not good. Scores bad. Oh, here he had a good one. Daytona,
though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's super speedways you load up on him.
Pretty good on the super speedway. But I mean, you know, he's pretty disappointing.
Like here in Indianapolis are the only tracks that aren't super speedways where he's like interesting because of the track, but both him and his teammate are fast though. They're like faster than the JJR Toyotas, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah. He's you got to play him. He's starting. He's cheap enough. He's starting 21st. I don't love Bubba. I definitely think of these two, I like Stenhouse a little bit more, and of this whole group, of course, Suarez stands out the most. Now,
come on, Cole Custer don't stand out for you.
I'm not even going to talk about when you see fade, I'm just fading it. Like, I don't got time for that. We don't have time for that. So there are two more relevant, though. Yeah, there are 2 more relevant drivers in this track, period. There's only 2 more guys. Harrison Burton finally didn't qualify. Like, this guy is the qualifying king. Hasn't been playable at all. Could he be playable here for 5,600? I like you the pricey.
Yeah, I mean,
Harrison Burton. I also like him on Super Draft. One of my favorites. Has he had a good finish? His finishes haven't been terrible, Taco.
No,
he hasn't been fantasy relevant because he's been starting kind of high, but like
kind of a practice warrior too. But like, he's also a rookie. He's like getting there, you know.
Youngster, you could see based on
Blaney's car, Blaney's old car. You know, like,
what is he, like 17?
He's my favorite person to watch or to track on Twitter because his mom literally just live tweets every single race. Like every 2 seconds, she tweets about him and what's going on with them. So if you ever need the updates, man, hit up old Kim.
Gotta love a mom who's involved.
Yeah.
Cares about her kids' racing career. So I like Harrison Burton here. I'm not a Harrison Burton guy. He hasn't been playable even once all season. And finally, you can actually play this guy. He's playable here. It's fine. It's fine. So Harrison Burton, yeah. I like it. And Ty Dillon, can he stay on the front lap? I mean, can he stay on the lead lap, Taco? Starting 34th.
Ty Dillon has constantly finished top 25 here in much worse equipment. As we saw him do well here, like run like 23rd, 22nd, 21st, and like Germain racing equipment. Certainly it's gotta be better. And he's honestly looked really good, both Phoenix and Richmond. Like, he is impressed. He was running in like the top 15 last week. Like, legitimately.
The other important part is Ty Dillon at 5,500.
Yeah, just mad cheap. Like, I'm gonna be coming here a lot. I'm gonna be overweight to the field on.
Yeah, I mean Ty Dillon. Like, when you're making your cash lineup, the first name you click is Ty Dillon. You're like, oh, all right, now what? Start with him. Now what? Actually, let's make a lineup. The rest of these guys are turds that are unplayable. Colo, not great this year. Not great this year overall, but starting 26th is a no. Gillian starting 10th is a no. And I will say that Papa Cap did mention in the chat that, you know, some of these guys have done a decent job of finishing this specific race in the past, but
yeah, but they're gonna go from like what 33rd to 29th. I don't know.
It's fantasy points for you. The 12 points that you get is not going to do it, and unless we see the Extreme Carnage Home Makeover Edition, like the one we saw last night.
Please could remind me about last night. Last night actually made me a dumber person having to witness that.
Yeah, no, we don't.
I'm a shell of a man.
This to be
after that Xfinity race.
Stay away from this turd group. No turds. Now, what was I just about to do? Or
LaJoy's gonna remember that. You lumping them in there with the turds. Oh man.
Wait, who Colo?
Yeah, you lump him in there.
Sometimes he's a turd. Listen, I'm not
sometimes
allowing
sometimes you do be a turd.
I'm not allowing my fandom to influence my money. Hell no.
That's fair.
All right. So let's do a little lineup build at the end of this, since we finished this one a little faster. A lot of turds. Didn't have to talk about them. A little lineup construction. So I'm starting my lineup with Ty Dillon. Why? Because I got a lot of money to play with once I start with Ty Dillon. But as a matter of fact, if you do Ty Dillon, you can do a middling everybody else. But we don't
want middling though. That's you absolutely don't want middling at this. I think you just want to go scrubs and then guys at the very top, like the best dominators. That's just what that's what you gotta do. You need those lap leaders.
Man, it hurts me. It hurts me physically, Taco. Physically, that I can't feel safe about Allmendinger, but I kind of want to play him anyway. I'm gonna tell you, I do. I mean,
he's gonna pass the scrubs, certainly.
It's not about that. I think if he finds his way to the lead lap, he's scoring 60 points.
Oh, he's scoring a bajillion. Like, he has top 15, maybe top 10 upside.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. This is the gamble of a lifetime.
If anything, he just gets on an alternate hit strategy. He has nothing to lose.
I have to figure out if this fucking guy.
He does not give a shit about stage points.
No,
one of those guys.
Can he?
He probably won't make it that far.
Back on the lead lap, like, can he? If he falls 2 laps behind, can he be like, "Fuck it, I'm not changing tires," and just keep driving, and like pick up a second lap?
It probably just takes one wreck caution and one stage caution. He'll be fine.
But that's got to happen early because these other guys are going to fall behind. So they're going to fall behind.
If he takes waiver rounds, because we've seen tire fall off not really matter too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to play Dinger also. If you do it, look what you can do. From here, now I can do whatever the hell I want. Chase, ain't nothing changed but his limp. How about that?
What, Hamlin Truex or something? Maybe like
2 more.
Like Hamlin Chastain or something like
that. I mean, if we
went go for more lineup leaders,
then we can go Blaney or Larson.
I like Blaney. I have Blaney in my cash.
Over Larson.
Yeah.
How about that? The only spot.
Yeah, give Blaney his respect, man. He's had a big dick at every single track you've gone to. It hasn't even mattered the type.
Fuck it. I'll go with this. So I don't know if I'd call this a cash lineup, Taco, because I think Allmendinger is too risky to play in cash. But this is kind of a dominator scrub where the scrubs don't look very bad approach.
I like it.
I don't hate it. I'm playing it. Fuck it. I'm in. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Fast 40.
Fast 36.
Fast 36.
They can't fit 40 in this little track.
We got to have a consistent name for it, man. You can't keep changing it.
Well, I mean, they used to have 43 every single week. Fast 43 doesn't really roll off the tongue as much.
No, the Fast 40 rolls off.
Fast 36 definitely does not.
No,
Fast
we
40
have to call
though.
it like the Badass 36 or some. We got to change the name, like the Slick 36 for that one.
Oh, it's not too slick out there.
Yeah. All right. Good luck, everyone. Listen, if you're watching this and you're not a DFS Army subscriber, first of all, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit like and subscribe and all those good things. But we have a deal going on this weekend. You want to check it out. It's scrolling by underneath. Promo code opening day, celebrating MLB opening day. 50% off VIP, weekly, monthly, whatever the hell it is that you want to do. You're not going to get that kind of a deal ever again until some other new sport starts up. Could be football season until you see it again. So do it now. Get signed up. Opening day. That code ends on Sunday. You're not going to have another chance. You'll be like, oh, I want it. Too bad. Pay full price for DFS Army. Motherfucker. So that's what we got to do. Get signed up now. Good luck tonight on the race. There's MMA. We've got NASCAR, MMA, baseball, basketball. It's insanity today. There's so much esports going on. I don't even know. Like, we got too much. We're going to break the website. So good stuff, Taco. Good luck today. One more thing. I wanted to pull up before I let everybody go, and let me just not do this. Let me pull up on my screen here. A little Brady advice. Always like the Brady advice. And Brady did throw up some knowledge nuggets for us, and he said Hendrick is back. Gibbs will be fast in the long run. Loves Larson and Byron. Also, long shots on Kurt Busch and Austin Cindric. So, guys that maybe we didn't like as much, Brady is definitely liking Austin Cindric and Kurt Busch a little bit more maybe than Taco did. So, keep that in mind. And that'll do it. Good luck this week, everyone. Taco, take care, my man. Take care, everybody. Good luck tonight.
Good luck. Get those helmets up there.